So you got your spell picked. Everybody else feels happy with their choices for now.
Hmm.
Do you feel level 7?
Got my hit points.
I'm supposed to get some Ranger Archetypes features too.
Yeah, and I'll talk about that in housekeeping because I
Okay,
think
cool.
I saw it got added to your abilities
Yeah.
as a description, but it's not something that's coded, so you'll just have to like keep it in mind
Oh God.
because it's I know, right?
I know.
It's a good thing. It's a cool thing, but it's something that I can't code for. So
Phew. And those aren't easy ones to remember.
kind of
either.
like Terrell's thing is Terrell's aura. We haven't been paying attention to your aura lately. But if everyone's physically, if not emotionally prepared,
Let's do it.
and
Go.
super level 7. Yeah, this is the sweet spot, I think, for levels and abilities. So, y'all are all level 7. I've updated all your hit points. So, Kai and Yelena have 63 hit points each, and Terrell has 84. I got it wrong in my notes. I typed in your old hit points, which is wrong. Okay. Kai, you got level 4 spells. And you picked Vitriolic Spear and Wall of Fire.
I did. Both very useful. What was your second one, sorry? Wall of Fire. Ah, right.
And now,
Of course you did.
when you do Arcane Recovery, you can recover 5 levels worth of spells.
Ooh.
Because you are an evocation wizard. So you get like an extra,
Nice.
you get a bump or something. Because normally it's only 4 levels worth. Yelena, you get a feature with your Fey Wanderer subclass called Beguiling Twist.
Ooh.
You have advantage on saves against being charmed or frightened. I wonder if we have that. You already had charmed because of your half elfness.
Mm-hmm. Frightened is a new thing.
Yas. I wrote frightened. Let me correct my typing. Because I think frightened is something completely different. It like suggests that you can't be fought with. You have advantages against being fought with. You can't frighten me. Okay, so that's just one part of it. The other part is of Beguiling Twist is whenever somebody within 120 feet of you succeeds on a saving throw against Fear or Charm, you can twist fate. And you can force a different creature within 120 feet of you to make that wisdom saving throw against being charmed or feared, whatever it was that they saved against the first time around. And then they will suffer the effect instead. And so if you make a creature afraid or charmed in this way, it can last up to a minute, though the creature gets to attempt a saving throw at the end of each of their turns.
And that's only if somebody else.
Yeah.
Not okay.
It's not you, it's like somebody else. So somebody within 120 feet of you. I don't think the wording explicitly said you or someone within 120 feet of you. So look on under your abilities at the wording. Because if it says you or someone within 120 feet of you, then it does count if you save. If not, it's only people within 120 feet of you.
Well, you or a creature you can see within 120
Okay,
feet.
so then it counts if you save.
Yeah. Yep, cool.
Cool. All right. And it will use your spell DC, which is, I don't know. What is your spell DC, Yelena?
Is that wisdom?
Or it might be. Have we set it for anything?
I don't know if we've set it for anything.
I thought it was 14.
It's saying
I don't know why.
13 here for some things.
Is that even on the sheet anywhere?
It should be 8 plus your proficiency bonus, which is 3. So that gets
Okay,
up to
so
11 plus
11.
your spell modifier, which I think is wisdom. So yeah, it would be 13.
Okay.
Yeah. So 13 is currently the DC for that ability.
What's my spell modifier?
Charisma, I think, but maybe it's oh Jesus. You're gonna ask me a question about
I know.
about how stuff works?
I just feedback for Fantasy Grounds is like have that be a stat that we can keep track of.
I know. It would be nice if it was just there, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Let me
Yeah.
I'm looking it up.
Also, is anyone else's action sheet looking a bit squished at the top?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
It was like that last time as well.
Right.
Yeah, they did another freaking update.
They improved things.
No, it's like they did that one update and it screwed it up, and then they did another update that fixed it, and now they did another update and it screwed it up again. So now it's not easy to do your saves off of that stuff anymore.
Hmm.
Hmm.
At least we could do it from front sheet.
It might, but see, here's the thing. That's an extension, and I probably have to update that extension, but I didn't realize it until like now.
Okay.
So it hopefully will be fixed by next time. Your spell, charisma is your spell modifier, Terrell. So you would have a 14
Right.
to spell DC.
Okay.
Let me just make sure that your wisdom, Yelena. Yeah, your wisdom. And Kai, of course, is intelligence. I think you also have an item that gives you a +1, Kai. Am I
I
crazy?
may do. I'm fairly sure I remember that as well.
Like the item that you first chose. Grimoire. Maybe the Arcane Grimoire is what gives you an extra state level on Arcane Recovery, too.
Mm.
Yeah, it's the thing that gives you an extra spell slot level when you do Arcane Recovery, not because you're evocation. So I was talking out of turn. All right, so that's you leveling. That's your thing, Yelena.
All right, cool.
Your beguiling twist.
Mm-hmm.
It's some face shit. Terrell, you get a crazy ability. I had to like double check that this was real. Like,
Okay.
because this seems overpowered to me, but maybe not. You get an ability called Aura of Warding. Your paladin aura, with the Oath of Ancients, not only grants people within 10 feet of you +2 to saving throws, you now have resistance to damage from spells.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like, what the hell? How am I supposed to kill you? I mean,
Now it all comes out.
yeah, like, what? That hobbles me so much. So you, or people 10 feet from you, are resistant to damage from spells. But that only applies to spells, not like, abilities that are like spells. Spell-like abilities.
Okay.
So, like, not Dragon Breath, but if somebody tries to cast Disintegrate on you, yes. Not that that's going to happen today. I'm just, posing a hypothetical.
Okay.
Anyway, that's your level 7 superpower, which seems pretty super. People will have to hump you to get that benefit. And I don't think Kai and Yelena are usually close to you. This is how I talk myself down, because Kai and Yelena are not usually right next to you.
No, I mean I do try to.
But it'll help Sprinkles. It'll help Sprinkles, because Sprinkles is
That's
usually
true.
near you.
Yeah. I always try and stay close to Kai if I think he's going to get attacked, just for the whole, the being able to shield.
Mm-hmm, that's true. Okay. Last session was just talky, lore, no combat, because you made good choices. You're responsible people. You're not murder hobos. And so there was no combat. You didn't try to take on a whole water cult in their home base. So you're also kind of intelligent. So in session 36, you guys went for a swim, and you entered a flooded crypt in the depths of High Lord's Hall in Loudwater. You, with a reluctant Lady Belliphauna fan, were magically granted gills. Traveling through the underwater realm of the crushing wave, you were taken to the splendid depths of the Coral Throne, where High Priestess Fava and Emissary Flo waited to dine. The High Priestess kind of approached this as a meeting of equals, and she seemed to present her candid insight in regards to the past encounters you have had as you've journeyed through these lands in and around the High Forest. You were given the opportunity to ask questions, and Yelena jumped at the chance to ask what the hell River Touched meant, the word that the water cult keeps using for Lady Belliphauna. You learned that Lady B lost her family while on an outing, boating on the River Ith near the Than Vineyards in Tethier. I don't think I mentioned Tethier, but now you know. That's like just a whole region far to the south. She described a sudden storm capsizing the vessel. Belliphauna was cast into the waters with her parents and her younger brother. They succumbed to the churning river, but Lady B was rescued by her mother's griffin. High Priestess Fava claims the spirit of the River Ith marked Belliphauna that day, a sigil visible to water elementals, to those who have undergone rituals to bind themselves to Ol Hydra, and those with the divine power of true seeing. To be river touched is to be fated to not die from the power of water. Fava also warned that cultists of the other elements may not be able to see Belliphona's mark, but they might get a sense of natural opposition to her bearing. Over the course of the dinner, you learned that the water cultists have this manner of aversion where Lord Jomont's Shieldbearer is concerned. And in later discussion amongst yourselves, you remember Jomont's scars from the time he fought fires in Westbridge. And during the last threats of the forces from elemental evil, you formed this hypothesis that he could be like flame touched. But there's kind of like this resolution like, ooh, maybe we need to like be able to true see again sometime. First time chance we get to have someone true see on Lord Geomont, we can sort this out. And see if this is for realsies. The water cult revealed that their seat of influence stretches only as far as the rivers that span the savage frontier. Beyond the ruins of the village of Lork and the Grey Peak Mountains, that blocks the crushing wave from building strength in that region beyond the mountains, where Parnast sits. Likewise, the Grey Peaks shelter more powerful forces of the Black Earth and the Eternal Flame, including a few lieutenants that escaped the party's efforts against those cults in Succumber. High Priestess Fava makes Belliphauna an offer of escort by river or road. 20, quote, settlers, unquote, of the crushing wave will join the caravan if she accepts. They will bolster defenses and labor in the extension of the Grey Flow River beyond the mountains into the areas surrounding Parnast. But the realization comes bringing water to Parnast, with or without the cultists' help, extends the crushing wave's reach. Belliphauna elects to take a night to think about the offer, intending to talk with you later, and you kind of started talking about this towards the end of our session. There's some more talk about the East, that there were giants responsible for destroying Lork, and it's possible that Orlbar has met similar trouble. There is talk of bandits on the road east, and High Priestess Fava is curious about the rumors that the Black Earth may have an alliance with Drow. Kai offered an edited version of the party's encounter with goblins back in the caverns, like under the Red Cliff Mountains, under like near the quarry, that the goblins were working for a Lady Understone of the Underdark. The boom powder plot that you interrupted that was targeting the captain of the fort at Lord's Hill and Succumber at the time, with explosives disguised as firecrackers. I bet you didn't remember that, which is why I reminded you that happened. You did that thing. Kai shares that long ago the Drow did have an earth cult, but they were considered scoured by followers of Lolth. What Kai kept to himself was that his uncle mentioned his mother was up to one of her schemes, and that the coincidence, like, I guess, makes your tummy hurt. Kai resolves that he might need to come clean about his underdark past to his friends sooner rather than later. But I don't think you have yet.
No, I don't think. No, I don't think I have.
No, I think you said something about
I
you
was
were
gonna
thinking
wait
you were gonna
till-
do it.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
you,
we're gonna do it when we got back to the tree hotel thing.
you were like, I probably need to say something later. And then
Yeah.
we haven't officially had anything said. With the news that the drow may have an earth cult, High Priestess Fava wonders if the drow could have struck through the mines the dwarves of Orlbar work under that town. Because it's a dwarven city, a dwarven town that is built into the Grey Peak Mountains, near where the Grey Flow River cuts through. There was also a little talk about the air cult, the Howling Hatred. So many cults. So many things for Yelena to be mad about. They had a secret cabal among the nobles of Waterdeep during the last push from the followers of Elemental Evil. 3 or 4 years earlier? The airspace above Loudwater is kept clear to limit their treacherous winds, but this also affects Yelena's old pal, Moldy Marstein, who she last heard had a balloon courier service between Orlbar and Loudwater. That is not currently allowed. Lastly, Emissary Flo warns Terrell that the cultists who tortured him were looking to find artifacts of Maliki from the time she resided in Loudwater. The Hornblades, and a longbow called Heartsong. The water cult claims these things are long gone from Loudwater, though there are still shrines here where they were once kept. While these are powerful weapons, it's kind of puzzling why the earth and fire cults were specifically interested in them, given that they aren't fiery and earthy artifacts. You return to your rooms at the Woodlands, and you discuss the cult's offer with Belliphauna. You did agree to travel by road, not to go by river, and you intend to stop in Orlbar on your journey. But as you settled for the night, there were some lingering questions and doubts. Lady Bellifauna's goals for Parnast give the Crushing Wave what they want, whether she accepts their help or not. To choose to align with the cult is a convenience, but it's also swimming in dangerous waters. Now, are you guys taking a long rest at this point? Or are you talking some more before you take a long rest?
Is Lady Belliphauna still with us?
She can be.
I mean, so we're back in his hotel, aren't we? Yeah.
You're back in your hotel. So you were,
Well,
we're all huddled up in like Lady Bellifauna's room, and she's like, kind of debating what to do, like whether to allow the cultists to join the caravan or not. She did say that if they joined, she kind of was like, can they be on the down low? Because she expressed some concerns given the past history of Parnast. And like maybe 3-4 years ago, that there was the dragon cult that took over the place and kind of basically held the town under siege. Used it as a base of operations. They were like liberated when the cult was destroyed, and now Lady Belliphauna, like her family were given the opportunity to kind of take over the town by the Lord's Alliance, or they were placed there by the Lord's Alliance to try to rebuild the place, and that's what she's been trying to do. She has concerns about openly bringing some cult people to Parnast because of its history.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about the cultists. I mean, it's her town. Not all we can do is advise, and if what she's going to do is going to open up the cultists to her town anyway, there's not much she can do to stop them, is there? Other than just not voluntarily bringing them in.
And she said, like, they could be, she could take advantage of it. Kind of like she's taken some advantage of Jomont, letting him come along on this journey, with the idea that she can like use his purse for some things. And she's like, this could be that kind of thing. This could be, I could just use them because it'll help me complete the project faster if I have these extra dedicated people.
What was their requirement again? That they would settle in the town?
Yeah, that they would settle in the town.
It's not like she's been told she has to give him a place in the local council, or is it?
No. Just that, like, about a fifth, a sixth of the population is going to be cultists.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, can we get into a whole civics discussion of the infrastructure required to support that much of a population increase, offset by potentially tax revenue? All sorts of things.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
down to earth.
How much realism do we want to bring into our fantasy game?
We're bringing a little bit of realism, but a little bit of fantasy, like somewhere a balance.
Yeah, somewhere.
They are being sent as laborers.
Yeah, they're bringing in help. Yelena's attitude, of course, is cultists, but
does Yelena have this idea that, like, this is bad, or does she have an idea that, like, okay, well, I'm just gonna have to kill them eventually?
Unease, I think. Concern, but also not seeing a clear path to say no. I feel like Yelena does have the knowledge of, like, sometimes there's this line between cult to accepted religion, and wondering if this particular group is sort of crossing over it.
I mean, this town looks, it's well maintained. It's secured. It's, it seems to be flourishing. There aren't civilians walking around in chains and stuff. Not that we've seen.
Mm-hmm. Well, is it even up to us? It's the town leadership that's got to say yay or nay.
And Lady Belliphauna is, like, a little bit. She's still a little undecided, but she's leaning towards letting them come along for the free labor.
I mean, I guess all we can do is, keep an eye on them if we're still around.
That's right. Once again, is this our problem?
Yeah.
I love it whenever you say that.
She did just hire us to get her to Penrith.
I know. This is the mission creep on this is amazing.
This is what happens.
Personal counselors.
You've become trusted advisors.
Yeah.
This is what being good at your job does.
I won't go that far.
No. You become everybody wants to dump everything on you because you were good at something. You know too much.
Yeah. I mean, I guess all we can say is, I mean, it's like it's labor, and obviously they know how to manipulate water, so they can help her with all that sort of side of things, which is it's a useful skill to be able to, use.
And at the moment, she only has, like, one engineer that, what's his name? I can't remember. Badger Sweeney. Good, yay.
How the chuff did I remember that? But yeah.
Yeah, I know. Good
I
lord.
know. I mean, my name was, like, filled with the names of 100 other dwarves before Badger Sweeney.
You know what it is? It's because every time I think of him, I think of that bloody badger meme.
Badger meme.
Badger.
Yeah,
Badger. And now she'll have, like, 5 working on it.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Okay. So, you part for the evening to get a long rest. Lady Belliphauna is kind of resigned to this idea of having cultists come along. But she's still thinking about the thing about, like, are they going to be discreet? They'll need to be discreet. You have a long rest. I don't think... Do you guys... I think you've already had a long rest. You don't need me to reward your long rest, do you?
I don't think so. I don't
No,
think I've got.
I've got all my spell slots.
But I
Yeah.
will.
Oh no! There's 2 third-level spell slots that have apparently been used. Do I
Oh.
need to take the ticks out?
I'm going to do a long rest. And then,
Thank you.
Yelena, roll,
Mhm.
what is it for your socks of the well-rested? Your temporary
1
hit
second.
points. I don't remember if it's a D6 or a D8 anymore.
Inventory, where you at? Da-da-da-da. 1 hit die, which for me is
Roll a D8.
yeah. There we
Woo!
go.
Oh,
nice.
Good start. Better than last time.
Yeah, what was it last time? 1.
It was,
Probably was
it,
like
it was
1 or
6.
2.
It was actually 6, but it's still an
Was
improvement.
it?
I'm checking one thing. I want to make sure that Sprinkles is showing her new fancy collar.
Oh yeah.
So you all have a long rest. You wake up refreshed. Everybody still has their gills. Kai, you did have an extra 4 hours to do stuff, but like, how does each of you spend your morning, or like, what do you do when you first wake up? This is me buying time.
Yeah. Are we all in the same room or are we in different rooms?
You have your
aren't we?
own rooms with your own fish butlers.
Well, I was just thinking I could gather Yelena and Terrell and tell them my tale.
Oh yeah. Story time.
I send my fish butler to their fish butlers and ask them to come.
So we have a joint breakfast in your room.
Yeah.
I don't remember what Sprinkles' armor was anymore, and I'm having a hard time figuring it out.
Okay, you do that, and we'll try and remember what the hell
I don't
Kai
know if
needed to tell us.
I don't know if I added the 1 to her armor or not, and I didn't make a note of it here.
Oh no. Fairly sure she had a. Oh no, I can't. No, that's wrong. That's
If
me.
she had 18 before or didn't, or she had 17 before.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that like there's a version of her I added it to though.
All right. So what do we need to know about your mum?
Oh, you'll know it, don't you?
I'm trying to remember. I mean, I know in real life,
Yeah,
but story-wise, I'm trying to remember what it is we need to know. That she might be up to something.
Yeah, she's a wily character. And the spider? What was the spider called?
Murderface.
Murderface.
Spider
yeah.
face.
No,
Spider face.
You're
yeah.
murder
I'm
face.
Murderface.
Oh god. Oh god. That campaign was fantastic. I loved it. Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Right. So it sounds like your mum's up to something, but we don't know what. But you
Yeah.
think it's so was it something to do with the bits going up in the mountains that she might be involved with that other cult?
Yeah, she might be up there doing something. So so I need to make you aware of her.
In case we run
In
into
case we run into her, yeah.
Okay. And that's because Orlbar is where Yelena's pal is, or he was, and that could be where this cult's gone.
Yeah, you know that there are, according to the Crushing Wave, the mountains does have strongholds for both the fire and earth cults.
Right.
But there are a lot of
Okay.
mountains. So I don't know exactly where.
Right. Okay.
It's like out of their purview to know exactly where. And I have confirmed that the 18 does include 18 armor class on sprinkles does include the collar.
Okay.
Now you guys know about Kai Mom. How did each of you spend the night? Did you sleep well?
Think so.
I probably spent a bit of time just trying to, playing with the breathing through the gills before going off to sleep.
A bubble bath with some battleships and rubber ducks.
Maybe, yeah.
You're in a city of water.
Yeah.
Might as well have multiple baths today.
I've got to make the most of it while I can.
Yeah, because you don't know when you're gonna get your next one in nice facilities.
Yeah. And maybe give Sprinkles a brush,
Yeah, you can give Sprinkles a full bath if you want.
I don't know. I mean, how am I going to dry her off afterwards?
Yeah, that is the tricky part.
Yeah, it's not like
Blowfish.
You can like delegate. Just be careful. Don't let her eat your butler.
Oh God.
No.
No, I'll stick with giving her a brush.
Okay. She's pretty clean. She's molted a little. You can tell she's growing.
Yeah.
She's getting a little bit bigger.
Did she level up when I leveled up, or does it?
Not quite, but she's getting there.
All right.
I'm gonna have her level up when you guys hit the milestones where you get.
Okay.
So she doesn't level up every level, but she does have like tiers of level.
Okay.
So next time you level, she's gonna get a makeover.
Nice. Okay.
She might hit adolescence. I don't know.
I mean, she's not going to do anything, and she's just going to sulk.
Lays around.
Yeah. Roll her eyes.
And
yeah, I can't think of what else I would have done. So.
Did you sleep well, Yelena?
I think so.
You've kind of decided everything's not your problem.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like this is the
we're not getting shot at right now.
This is the Fae side of Yelena's heritage, and she's just kind of like, you know what? It's not worth it to worry about this.
I've seen much weirder shit.
It'll either become my problem or it's not going to be worth my energy. It'll sort itself out.
Exactly.
Okay, so you all rise and shine. It's the next day. Morning of the 23rd of Marpanoth. You actually passed a whole day. Woo! And you get
without
up.
fighting.
Yeah. There's breakfast available. You can have food brought to your rooms, or you can go downstairs to like the restaurant. There are like normal things available to eat. It's not all like sea-based food when you're above, when you're above the surface here. So there's like
steak and eggs.
So you can have steak and eggs for breakfast if you want to have steak and eggs for breakfast. There's just the availability of having like kippers or something like that for breakfast as well. There's abundant fruit. There's like meats from livestock as well as like the potatoes and breads and things like that. Normal breakfast food. But there are aquatic options available if one is interested. So you have breakfast. Lady Belliphauna joins you. I guess I haven't talked myself out of it. So, I guess I just have to like actually tell a fish that the cultists can come along and join us. But everybody else is kind of in the eastern part of town. They were staying at the Tavern over the waters. So, well, I don't know. Do you think there's any? We should probably hit the road.
Probably should.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
the cultist said. I mean,
Yep.
I'm a little bit like concerned. Like everything's okay. If there are a lot of threats, and at the rate we're going, I'll have been gone for over a month from Parnast, and I hope everything's okay when I get back. So yeah,
Well,
we should hit
yeah.
the road.
Best get moving.
Do you guys need anything else? Or should I just fish and send a message to the caravan to start packing up?
Unless anyone can give me 5,000 gold, no.
No.
I'm afraid I can't give you 5,000. Have you talked to Jomont?
I'm not being in that much debt to Jormont.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, all right. Well, let me just. I'll go send a message to the fish to commit to this course of action. We're gonna leave. Okay. she kind of like wanders off.
She hoping that we were talking out of it.
She's hoping you're gonna overnight. You guys have changed your mind and be like, "Oh God, no, don't do that." But seeing that you guys have decided to be unbothered, she's gonna mosey off, and you can see her at the front desk giving a
Worst
message.
comes to worst, we have to hit him with a sharp, pointy stick. So Kai drops a fireball on him.
Always.
So after you have breakfast, and Sprinkles eats a lot of fish for breakfast. You're like really happy that, as far as you know, the cultists are still covering the bill. Because you're thinking, man, we aren't made of money. We can't feed the owlbear that much fish. She's a growing girl. Then you start heading east. Lady Belliphauna was like, apparently, like Lord Jomont eventually found everybody else at the Tavern over the waters, so he's there too.
Yay, we did it, guys. We lost him for the night.
Apparently, he thought everyone was going to be at some, I don't know, some crazy place called the Enchanter's Ecstasy or whatever.
I don't know where he got that idea from.
So you start heading out, and I'm sharing like a picture for pictureness. As it takes you a good half hour to make your way down from kind of like you're like one of the plateaus on the ziggurat is where the woodlands is. So you kind of have to make your way around to the other side and down to get into the eastern part of Loudwater. This is not built up as high as the western side and the higher parts of Loudwater. And it's not as ornamental with like that ziggurat-y kind of style. It gets it's a little bit more, it's not run down, but it's definitely like not the higher income, most prosperous side. It's more just busy, very functional, very dense with population. A little bit less of the horticulture, but it's still present in amongst the canals. But it seems more like kind of like your near city urban environment that some of you might be familiar with and maybe not that fond of, compared to up on the ziggurat. It's like a getaway luxury destination and kind of like a highly curated, very beautifully cultivated lifestyle experience. But you travel over the bridges. You get to the Tavern over the waters. And this is the end of a street. It's like very close to some of the water markets alongside the river and different canals and stuff. But what's interesting about the Tavern over the waters is it is like literally over the waters. What it looks like is there's this kind of stone and wood building that arches over the waterway, kind of like a covered bridge. And the road out of town stretches over the water, running through this tavern / inn. So like the covered bridge part is where the road travels through. So there is kind of like a height requirement, like you can be no taller than like this wagon to pass through this. So in that sense, it's a little bit, bad planning or limits, There's there's no trucks going to be traveling on this highway. It's curious when you get there, you see that there's like people at a bar and they're just kind of like sipping in the morning. Some of them are having breakfast. You recognize members of the caravan people like Terry and Noodles Fabian and those people. They're like finishing off their breakfast. And they're just, supping away. But there's also a couple locals there, and they like seem so unbothered by like, caravans and carts that are just passing through, traffic going out of town. To one side of it, there's also on the underneath the covered bridge portion, there's also a canal that seems to be leading out of town as well. And you see small little skiffs, like fishers in their boats. Some of them already coming back from catching fish for the day. And there seems to be like there's a hustle and bustle. But by the time you get there, the caravan has obviously been notified by the fish mail, and there are people already kind of securing the wagons of the caravan, people getting the orphans into their wagon, getting them situated. And the caravan isn't the only traffic here. There's like other people, like locals and stuff, going about their business, stopping in for a meal. All of that going on. Lord Tremont is there. And he brightens to see you like, oh! Well met, well met. Terrell, Kai, Yelena.
Terrell walks off.
Just kind of like awkwardly waves after you. He looks very visibly confused. And a little deflated.
Oh, hang on. The cult told us that they didn't trust him, didn't they?
They had some heebie-jeebies about him. You're theorizing he may be flame-touched because of his burns. But Yelena knows that he fought fires in Westgate.
Yeah.
And that was the assumption. That's how he got the scars.
Burns. Right. Okay.
So you've collected with the caravan. They're finishing up, getting together. It takes a little bit of more time, so it's like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And as you're trying to sort out the caravan, making sure that everybody's together, nobody's getting left behind, taking kind of a tally, you're also kind of like keeping a lookout for these cultists that are theoretically going to show up and join you. And after a little while, there are a few additional carts that begin to wheel up. And you see several like nondescript people. There's no obvious sign that they may or may not be cultists. Some of them are wearing some blue leather in places. A few might have like a rune patch on an arm or something. But otherwise, most of them look quite normal. You do see one person who you might have seen before, a dwarf with a crocodile tail. He comes up. This guy, I think his name is like Thrombus Stonehide or something like that. And he's wearing like green and brown leathers that seem to be partially made out of a crocodile or alligator hide. So it seems to be kind of like a theme this guy and has going on. But he introduces himself as one of the engineers, meaning to join your group. So all these people report, and you see that there's like about 20 of them there. And as they're starting to get in line and join the caravan, and you're making note of their presence, you hear a few, startled kind of cries and gasps interrupting the villagers and people around the canal and some of the patrons within the tavern or the waters. And the canal that passes under the bridge, the river kind of bubbles and froths, and High Priestess Fava appears in all of her aquatic regalia. And she's just walking on the water's surface, the river forming a churn of rapids in the wake of her steps. You see like the local boaters and fishers and stuff, they're kind of like getting jostled and stuff. And you see a few people kind of rush and move towards the ladders that help them climb up the side because they want to, like, while the water is getting a bit frothy, a bit tumultuous for their liking, they kind of want to get out of the way. And then some are just kind of like moving to the side. They're kind of pausing. You see some river creatures pop their heads out of the water. And some people are just pausing, kind of watching a little bit, in trepidation. But some people are just kind of like in awe, like, oh my gosh, this is like, Gaga's appearing or something. And they're like, wow, this is a celebrity kind of thing going on. And then some are cautious. But this doesn't appear to be a common occurrence, the way that people are reacting. But she approaches you, walking on the surface of the water, really kind of addressing Lady Belliphauna. I am ebullient at your decision to accept my offer. I appreciate you accept the practicality of working together. That is not a strong suit of the other elementals of the wind. Certainly not. And Fire's association has fueled Earth's recent malleability. I myself am fond of testing the waters before accepting new alliances, and you have demonstrated your competence repeatedly, especially with your decision. I have high hopes we will mutually benefit from this solution to Parnast's troubles. If you need to communicate before the river runs dry, and you see her flick a hand in the air, and a series of flying fish arc in the water behind her, feel free to send a message with one of my creatures. Otherwise, my trusted engineer, Moat, will be your point of contact. And she's gesturing to one of the people who joined you. Moat is a turtle wearing a smaller tortoiseshell as a hard hat. And he kind of nods at you and just says, yo. The priestess continues. As for the laborers that will help with defense, Tidemaster Brack will accompany you to keep them organized. I have ordered the Tidemaster to take your orders, or Lady Than's, under sincere consideration in all things. At the mention of Tidemaster Brack, the High Priestess gestures at some of the crowd that's gathered. Seeing this, the gathered citizens and cultists kind of disperse, and you spot a familiar chariot on the promenade parked. Two enormous albino alligators kind of yawn and lazily curl their tails in front of it. And there's the heavily armored driver watching you as he sits on the ledge of the chariot, the alligator's reins held firmly in the grip of one hand. He offers no comment, but he nods to Yelena in recognition. The High Priestess continues. I want to start things out on a positive note. I understand that feeding a caravan of this size can be a burden. Loudwater offers you 2 carts of stores for the next leg of your journey, locally caught and grown in our hydroponics. With that, I bid you safe travels and success. So the extra carts that you've been granted, they offer enough fruits and vegetables to bolster the caravan's food supplies for the next week. And there's also a bundle of 4 mystical dried fish, which are a little healing thing.
Lovely.
Your party inventory once I get them.
So you said mystical dried fish, and I immediately thought of them. You know them little red plastic things you get out of crackers at Christmas.
That tell you your mood.
Yeah.
If it curls up one way, you're in a bad mood.
Now, mystical dried fish are not as good as the chicken wings.
Yeah.
They only offer like 1 hit point when you eat a mystical fish, but eating 1 fish is like the equivalent of rations for a day. And it is enough to like get somebody who's unconscious back on their feet.
Okay.
True.
So 1 each, and then somebody takes an extra. If there's 4.
Well, since I've got the lay on hands and stuff, I would say give it to someone who hasn't got healing.
Okay, so 4 mystical dried fish in the party inventory.
You've taken 1.
So the High Priestess, she's flicked her gown, and like there's this cloud of fine ice that just wafts in the air, and a geyser of river water envelops her, and Fava sinks out of sight. There's a slight spray of water on the surrounding thoroughfares, and you hear a few people shriek over the unexpected, like some of you get splashed. You can do a dexterity save if you want to like avoid getting splashed a little bit. It's kind of like a flume ride at a water park. And there's a few children giggling and clapping their hands like they're playing in a fountain, wanting another round. So Terrell, 12 is enough. You've avoided it, but Kai, you get your robe wet. It's the start of a day. And Yelena, did you want to roll
Sorry, what was that again?
a dexterity save to see if you avoid getting sprayed by the water from the river?
Ooh.
15. A 15 is enough. So yeah, Terrell, Yelena, you guys step out of the way, but Kai gets it. 90-20 for Jomont. Jomont does not get out of the way, so he gets a little bit of a spray too.
Thank God for my
Poor
+1 on
Jomont.
dex.
So the High Priestess is gone. Tidemaster Brack, he has situated his alligators, and he rolls up to the caravan. Rolls up to you, Yelena, and announces, "Not an earthworm. I heard the water spared you." Which, Yelena, the last time you ran into this guy was kind of when the mines were flooding.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this like, okay, he's killing a bunch of cultists in here. And you just kind of had this confrontation in there about like, hey, my guy, I am not a cultist. Just trying to get out of here and rescue this friend of mine. At the time, he's like, okay, so if you're not an earthworm, go on your way. I think you had like a nat 20 on a persuasion check or something to convince that you weren't a cultist. And at the time, you kind of like, had asked for help, and he's kind of like, hey, I'm letting you go. And, you know, if you survive, that's kind of help.
I was he is yeah, that's hilarious. Well, you're still here. I helped. God, I, I, I don't know. I'm just looking at him. I just give him a look and I sort of turn around. I just walk away.
He finds that delightful,
Uh-huh.
and he turns to like Terrell and Kai and is like, "I'm glad you accepted Fava's offer. The boys are getting restless." And he cracks his leads, and the alligators growl and snap their jaws enthusiastically to demonstrate. Admit I'm restless as well. Loudwater is too comfortable for my liking. And he
Was
kind
he
of.
a Zelbros with her?
I don't know if you saw him in. Oh yeah, you did see him in Zelbros. He was like the alligators were chomping on the retreating zombies.
Yeah, then I'm just gonna sort of give him a disdainful look and say, well, maybe you should have joined in the fight back at the last place a bit sooner then.
I have my orders. I am a soldier. But if there's an opportunity on the road to jump in, well, call me. And he will join the caravan with the cultists, kind of riding alongside him in this alligator-drawn chariot. Now, after he's kind of departed, you see Lady Belliphauna kind of comes up to you, and she's like, "Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This guy with the chariot. He's kind of
Obvious.
yeah. You think?
Mm-hmm.
So I need him to like turn it down a few notches." He was talking to you. So, would you mind kind of like telling him
no.
that we need to like have discretion and maybe like ditch the chariot or like have the alligators like swim while we're traveling with the river? Something that makes it like less obvious. Like we need like no like all the cultist stuff needs to be very quiet, very secret. Can you, is that
Okay.
cool?
I look at Yelena.
Because obviously, you're on talking terms with him.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can try.
I can try.
Strictly speaking, you're the one in charge, but yes, we can try.
Yeah, well, I am in charge, but I'm happily going to delegate this to you.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm going to go and lie to Jomont about what's going on. Yeah, that's my job. That's what I'm going to assign to myself.
Well, that could be fun.
She has absolute well, because she has a tiny bit of persuasion. I'm going to do her little persuasion on Jomont. Oh, see that?
30-20.
30-20. I don't think I have a what's his name out here. I'm trying to give you time to like think about how you're gonna approach this guy to tell him to cool off, or just generally like tell the cultists to like be secret.
Yeah, how long have we got till we get to Parnast? Where to go, haven't we? 2 years.
Yeah, that's probably the most accurate estimate I could give you.
I mean, he might die between now and then. So
It's at least
That's hopeful. Maybe he'll die.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like 9 or 10 days.
That's the entire political climate over here in the United States. Maybe he'll
Yeah,
die.
every time I think I'm like, I don't want to think these kind of things because that's not really gracious, but I feel like it would solve some problems.
Yeah.
My brain just stopped a little bit. Okay. I can never remember what I knew that. Okay. So for Jomont, okay, that's a straight roll. He has to roll a natural 20 to like see through Belliphona's deception. That was
Well,
almost.
I thought it was going to land
That
on
was
20.
so close. I saw it almost like pause on the 20. Yeah. Woot. Okay, so he totally believes her. Whatever she's told him, she believes it. Okay, so now you.
Traveling circus entertainers.
Absolutely gonna entertain. But Tidemaster Brack and his alligators. How do you want to handle that?
I mean, I guess the easiest thing to do is just tell him, that if he starts being overly cultist, then it's liable that all his people are going to get kicked out. I can't think of what else to say, really. I can't think of anything as a deception type thing,
Can you be more normal?
I can totally see Yelena just being like, "Hey, can you be more normal?
Exactly.
Can you be less like
A little bit.
I'm a cultist and my alligators are gonna eat you?" Can you just not do that?
Could you just not be, you for a little bit here?
I was Kai, do you have anything to add? Any word choices?
No.
As politely as
I'm at a
possible,
loss.
though.
I think make a persuasion check with advantage with like say you Terrell and Yelena, you guys are like kind of helping each other with this. So like one of you make a persuasion check with advantage.
Do you want me to do that? Or do you
Oh,
have better?
I've got +3 to persuasion.
I don't know what I have, so that might be you.
Okay.
You have
alright.
I'm not sure what you might be only +2. I think you have a Fey Wander thing that puts your wisdom on it.
I don't look like I have plus anything.
You have
to persuade.
you have like a glamorous something that adds
Okay.
+2. Uses your wisdom towards charisma checks,
Okay.
but still +3 is more.
Alright, and can I cast guidance on myself?
Yeah.
Will that work?
That's what it's for, and you're like you've had chance to like plan what you're gonna do. So I'll say, yeah, you guided yourself on the approach to having this conversation.
See if it works. Oh, fuck off! Right, well, he didn't have the guidance, but
It didn't
at the
work.
most it'd only be a
But you
10,
had
so-
advantage.
The advantage.
You
You
didn't.
could roll one more.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
I thought it was...
she's
alright.
giving you advantage.
Alright,
Because
sorry.
Yelena's helping, so like you have advantage.
Helping. Whoops.
So it's not added... So if I roll a +4, D4 then
Roll a
to add to that,
d4. Roll a d4, yeah. You have a
15.
total of 15, which is exactly what you needed.
Just inching.
Bloody
inching
hell. Bare teeth.
He's a little dubious, Tidemaster Brack,
I mean, so's Terrell.
but he sees. All right. I'm supposed to take everything you say. Your orders under advisement. So that does seem to make sense. I probably am accustomed to being a little too out in the open given the conveniences of living in Loudwater. And he nods. And you hear him bark orders at some of the other cultists to find a place for his chariot in a wagon. And he has taken the leads takes the leads off of his alligators. And he's like, "You're in the water, boys." And the alligators slink off, dive into the water. And you see their backs slightly out of the water. They're in like alligator stealth mode.
Shouldn't it be logs?
Yeah, kind of looking like logs.
I nod and thank him.
All right. So Loudwater is built at the hub where the Dillimbir River and the Greyflow River meet. The Dillimbir River is kind of what you've been traveling alongside up to this point. The Greyflow is what stretches towards the Grey Peak Mountains. The water here spans miles between the western and eastern shores. The bulk of Loudwater is built up in the western half of that expanse of water, with the less ornate towers and growth is in this eastern side of the city. You also notice like the Tavern of the Waters seems to be like platformed on the trunks of like giant trees that were kind of sheared flat to act like stilts in the water. And it's like it's a little bit damp. But the wagons start rolling past the bar as the caravan heads out. And the camaraderie that has resumed in the wake of High Priestess Fava's little appearance, the camaraderie and talking, everything is starting to drown out the sound of the wagons rolling past. This is the fringe of the town, and just beyond the tavern is the gate marking Loudwater's boundary. The soldiers you've heard called gulls are sentried in the parapets of the gate, scanning the air. There is a causeway leading out of town, either side bounded by cliffs that plunge sharply to the water, some 10-20 feet below, stretching toward the distant shore in the east. It could be half a mile, even farther away. It's hard to tell. The causeway kind of winds and changes in its elevation in different spots. You can't see all of it. It just kind of disappears in the distance. Beyond, you see the Grey Peak Mountains looming, waiting with your next destination, the dwarven fortress known as Orlbar. As you roll past the gates, you see fishers in boats. And the river dolphins put in an appearance, much to the delight of the orphans and other children in the caravan. You can see that Loudwater's gate has arches built specifically for vessel traffic, and there are points where the causeway arches higher, creating clearances that allows craft to shift which side of the river of the waters they are sailing. You note that at the first couple of these arches, there is a small hut with stationed soldiers. But as Loudwater grows distant, the river activity and the armed presence outside of your troop fades. As you're kind of rolling on this, the caravan's rolling on this causeway, headed away from Loudwater. This caravan is much larger than it was when you started out. It's more than doubled in size. And you fear it's going to be slower travel because of it. It's just the rules of scaling, that the more people you have to organize, the more things can go wrong. But the travel seems steady enough, calm enough. It's a bit of a windy day. It's choppy. You travel for about half a mile, you gather. By the time you notice that there are no longer huts stationed alongside the road, and there seems to be fewer and fewer places where there's a rise in the causeway to allow for shifts in traffic. You also pick out the presence of birds flying overhead, creatures in the air beginning to flit about. The normal birds that you expect that had been absent and odd about your stay in Loudwater. I think this would be a good time for us to take a little adventurer's break.
Okay.
Sure.
Works for me.
See you in a few.
Back in a few.
Alrighty.
You.
I have returned.
Hello.
I'm here.
Hello.
Yay! If everyone is emotionally and physically prepared, well, physically if not emotionally prepared, is there anything particular you guys are doing as you roll along this causeway?
I mean, apart from keeping an eye out.
Yeah, the usual scouting.
Everybody make perception checks. Who is keeping an eye out? And you can roll for sprinkles as well if she is keeping an eye out.
Yes, because I'd like to incorporate that in her training, but I don't have her thing.
Right? I will give you her thing.
Where it is and how to do it.
Oh, wait, did you find it?
No, I was just saying that's what you need to do.
Do you have her thing?
I have her thing.
Cool.
I mean, I don't know if there's a way I'm supposed to be able to open it
Oh, did it?
in general.
Okay.
Abilities then, yeah? Or, yeah, so that would be...
I think normally, like, you can, if we're on a map and she's on the map, you can just double click her to open her. But we aren't currently on a map, so you don't really have her. Though you might be able to open her from the combat tracker.
Right.
Okay, but
Well, she's CEO anyway.
she's
We're too busy trying to I'm too busy trying to train her. We're not actually seeing anything.
yeah. I was about to say she's like busy sniffing the cultists. All the new people, she's distracted trying to get their scent and get used to them. But Kai, no worries. Kai is Danger Man. Kai, for some reason, is actually paying attention to his surroundings. Maybe it's like the added threat that, like, oh, what if his mother shows up at any moment? I don't know. Maybe that's got you on your toes. But Kai, you distinctly, you pick up, you think you pick up the sounds of somebody calling for help from ahead.
Uh-oh.
There's a curve in the causeway before you that blocks your view. And it seems like you do see like you've gone to a place where there are some rocky outcroppings in the river water that makes for shallows near where the cliffs are. But you can't get a good sight of it, but it seems like about 500 feet ahead you hear someone calling for help.
Well, I say to these guys, can you guys hear that? Somebody shouting for help just up ahead? No, you don't hear it?
Once Kai makes you like really, really like, hey guys, focus. Like, do you hear that? Do you hear that? And once Terrell and Yelena, you like really, try to listen over the sounds of the caravan and like people talking, etc. You think you can make it out too, that somebody is in peril and is calling for help. What do you do?
Okay, is it just one voice?
Make another perception check, guys.
I keep forgetting I've got the ability to fly. I'm gonna kind of fly.
Ooh.
Why don't I do that?
Okay.
Wow.
Kai, Terrell, you're still struggling. But Kai, Yelena, you can pick it out now too. You can hear the voice calling. And Kai and Yelena, you're thinking, oh, I think I hear some like large bird sounds. And you've had encounters in the past with like large birds. They aren't the exact same sounds from those like asshole blue jays that you fought back at the Wizard's Tower. They aren't like that, but you're like, ooh, that sounds like, not good bird sounds. But Yelena, you said you're going to take to the air with your boots?
I am.
You do reconnaissance, and you fly over the next bend, and you can see about 250 feet in the distance, a place where the causeway curves, and there are these rocky outcroppings. I'm going to share a map. You see a place where there has been some shipwrecks against these rocks. You see obvious signs of large nests set up on some of the rocky outcroppings. And you see that there is a wagon that has recently gone over the side and has crashed in the shallow part among the rocky shoals here. There is also a single halfling man on one ledge, and he is calling for help. And around him, flying in the air in the distance, are several harpies. And they seem to be flying around in the process of getting ready to attack this halfling. Maybe with that, I should start some music of some sort. Given this peril that Yelena has just scouted from the air.
Dun, dun, dun. Dramatic.
All right. So what are we doing? I'm going to put you on the map, Yelena. I mean, you're like 200 feet away or so, but you're like, you know, in a corner. You're peeping.
I'm peeping. Do I see... So I just see the halfling dude. Is anybody in the... I see the nest also, right? Do I see inside the nest? Am I up that high?
See some eggs in the nest. You see harpies.
Okay, but no... Nobody about to get eaten, right?
Nobody actually getting eaten in the nest.
All right. I'm gonna see if I can. Can I just swoop down and grab our friend the halfling there?
In a couple of rounds, you can. You can roll initiative.
Okay. Let me do that.
But then everybody else is, I guess, Yelena, I'm not, Kai and Tyrell and Sprinkles are back with the caravan.
I think I'm honestly, character-wise, I'm gonna concentrate on just grabbing that guy, and not really,
Okay.
not even think about maybe I need to wait for people. I think I want to get him before the harpies do.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna be stupid.
Roll initiative.
But just Yelena or all of us?
Just Yelena. You guys can if you want to try to like move.
If you see me zooping out of sight, you probably have clued in. I'm assuming that something's going on.
I mean, okay, so she's flown ahead to scout. I'll give you guys an opportunity for Kai, Tyrell. Is there something that you were doing while she was off scouting? Like, what were you doing?
Well, I was watching where Yelena was going. Because I'm unusually observant today. And I was scritching Sprinkles behind the ears.
So she flew out of sight at some point when
so
she got about 200 feet away or something, and then she kind of like, you see like her figure in the air in the distance, and she's stopped.
And then swoops.
And yeah, so she starts to swoop.
Yeah, I say to Tyrell, Yelena's on somewhere, we need to go give assistance.
Okay.
And what?
And are you gonna... So guys, you roll initiative too.
Yelena went? Where did Yelena go? Initiative.
She should be on the
initiative.
She's swooping. Why is Yelena swooping?
Ooh.
You guys didn't do badly on your initiatives. In fact, Tyrell, it looks like you get to act first.
But we're nowhere near the map. We have to get there, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're basically running.
Okay, hang on.
Unless there's something else you can do to move farther. I don't know, like say a dimension door to move 500 feet and be there.
Oh, go on, rub it in. Can Misty Step 30 feet. How far away am I from where Yelena's last seen swooping?
She's a good 250 feet ahead of you, 200 something plus feet ahead of you.
Right, so I can either dash, which would give me 60 feet, or I can run and Misty Step, which would give me 60 feet. So 60 feet regardless.
Isn't Misty Step a bonus action?
Oh, is it? Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah, so you can move,
90.
you can dash, and you can Misty Step.
Alright, I shout, forward, and run for it.
All right, so you're 90 feet closer. Kai.
Kyle just trot along behind at his usual 30 feet a turn.
Or you get 60 if you dash.
Have I got dash? Oh yeah, I'll do dash. Dash, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but you can see that, like, you know, Terrell's a chunk ahead of you, but you're like, I'm coming.
I'll get there in the end.
Okay, Yelena. You swoop closer.
Yep.
How far can you fly?
Oh gosh. What was my moves with the boots? You asking me things I'm supposed to remember.
I think your boots are 30 feet. I think we have on your character sheet, the front page is like 30 feet for flying and...
Flying
equal 35 feet. Yeah, 35.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So with dash, you can move 70 feet, and you also have Misty Step.
Can you Misty Step in the air?
Yeah, sure.
All right, yeah, I will Misty Step down to him.
So I'll say like 100 feet gets you halfway to where you need to be. Or like a little bit more than halfway. Each one of these squares is like 10 feet. You can move 10 squares closer to him.
Okay, there I am. It's like, where am I?
Yeah, you're in the bottom corner.
All right, gosh. Is that about right?
Pick left or right. You're like straddling two different grid squares. I'll move. There you go.
It just wants to do that.
I know, it's like so weird. Kai's already moved.
That's better.
So one of these harpies starts singing a magical melody. Which one is it, though? Okay, so everybody within 300 feet, which includes you, Yelena. And at this point, I'm going to say it also includes Terrell. Make a wisdom saving throw, and I'm going to make one for the halfling.
And is this, do I get advantage on this?
Yes, you do.
Knew I should have cast Bless. Yep.
That 11 is enough.
Ooh.
And with advantage, Yelena rolls high enough.
Oh, you got me. Yeah. Phew.
What about Sprinkles? Because I'm assuming she ran with me and she can do 80 feet.
Well, she can't.
Does a dash.
She can't Misty Step, so she's still well. She can do 80 feet. I'm gonna say
speed's 40.
She's just out of range. Let's say. Yeah, she and Kai are just back far enough that they are out of the range. And wisdom saving throw. And halfling, my guy with a 13, he rolls high enough, so he still has his senses. So that is that. That's that harpy's turn. Yelena, at this point, you notice in the distance two little heads like tree logs in the water. Your friends, the alligators. They're swimming on approach because there seems to be things that are tasty in the vicinity. I don't know why they're like that.
Is that like a cultist symbol?
Yeah, it's our buddy
The cultist.
that's acting. Our buddy who's acting normal. Made him go swim.
Yeah.
And now they're acting normal, which is
I think-
unfortunate because we don't want them to act normal right now.
It's just the fancy little yellow swirly thing around them that's cool.
I don't know what the yellow swirly thing means. I don't know why they have it. It's a mystery to me.
Yeah.
This is probably some great feature of Fantasy Grounds that I don't know about. Another harpy. This might mean that they're aggressive. Or might also just bring attention to who's active, whose turn it is.
Possibly.
actively.
Yeah, maybe it's that who's active.
That might be a new feature of Fantasy Grounds.
Ah.
There is another call from this harpy that looks older, larger than the harpy that made a call previously. Everybody who had to roll before has to roll again for another wisdom saving throw.
Sorry, wisdom saving throw, yep. Oh, better.
As this harpy sings out its song. 17 and 21 both save. I've lost my guy again. Oh, and he saves with a 17. I'm amazed. And did you roll for sprinkles? Oh, wait, I said sprinkles is out of range.
Yeah.
So these harpies have tried to enchant, but they have failed. So one of that's the one who just acted. The nesting harpy that is closest is kind of torn because it sees Yelena flying closer. But it also sees its prey. Who's it going to roll for? And I'm going to roll a d4, and if it's odds, it's going to go for the halfling. If it's even, it's going to go for Yelena. Evens. It heads towards Yelena. The harpy flies up to intersect you and slashes at you with its claws, making 2 attacks. The first one hits with a 16. You maintain... What do you have concentration for? Do you have a spell on you? Oh, it's the... Wait.
Probably by accident. The pass without trace needs to be taken off.
Oh, okay.
The thing I
Oh.
accidentally applied to myself.
But you should have applied that before you went off.
I might not have noticed your approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's possible. Oh well.
But, you know, most of the damage that she did with her first slash of the claws was absorbed by your Socks of the Well-Rested bonus hit points. So you have not physically taken any damage. It's more like, you know, ego damage because you thought you were going to be able to swoop in. And you might have been able to swoop in if they'd gone after the halfling. Or just hadn't noticed you.
Yeah.
I will take off that pass without trace. Oh, and I haven't done the second slash. This is a nat 1. The second attempt to slash at you misses. There is a young harpy who flies forward and tries to pick up the halfling. I'm going to just make an attack roll for her, and he's going to have to make a dexterity saving throw to avoid it if she hits. It's a 6. She misses. So he dodges out of the way. He's a halfling. He apparently is a little bit limber. Not clumsy like I am. Not with like the natural 6 dexterity. This guy can move better. There's another young harpy, and it just flies forward, wanting to get in the fray. The halfling, he sees the harpy in front of him, disengages so that it doesn't get an opportunity to attack, and he runs 30 feet. Though he has to like climb up this ledge, so I'm gonna make like an athletics check for him. He tries to scramble up the ledge, but he fails. So that's as far as he gets at this point. But he has moved a little bit closer to you, Yelena. I'm removing Lady Belliphauna off of the combat tracker. And now it's Sprinkle's turn. Sprinkle should be moving with you, right?
Yeah.
Let me give her 18. So it's not Sprinkle's turn. It is back at the oh wait, maybe it is because we're back at the top of the combat order.
Okay, well, Sprinkles is gonna run another 80 feet.
She runs. She runs. I'm
and
gonna
how
say,
far am I from them now?
I'm gonna say that Sprinkles is now on the edge of the map.
Okay,
you are like 150 feet away, say.
Alright, then I'm going to do another 90 feet dash and Misty Step.
Alright. Let's say you're with, or you're just ahead. So I'm going to put you...
And I'm too far away to cast Bless on them too, so I shall hold it.
Removing Lord Jomond off of the combat tracker. Yelena. There's a harpy engaged with you.
Yeah, engaged. And I'm going to disengage and...
The halfling's about 30 feet away.
Yeah, I'm going to disengage and go for the halfling. So she can attack me.
Well, disengage avoids the opportunity attack.
Can I do that? I
yes.
don't think I...
Yes, you can.
Okay.
As your action, you can.
As an action. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which means, like, you won't be able to try to pick him up this round, but you can get to where he is.
All right, let's do that.
Okay. So you're like right with the halfling now, and he's like, "Oh, thank the gods."
Hey, buddy.
I could use a lift.
The good job is small.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I was like.
I don't know what happened. 1 minute I was driving down the road, and next thing I was standing on this cliff. Kai, it's your turn.
I dash again to get a bit closer. But that's it.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of put you on the map, but you're like not on the picture part.
Okay.
Just behind Sprinkles. But you're trying. You're trying.
Yeah, I see me.
So, the young harpy that is in the large nest. She flies forward. But she can't get to where you are. The alligators, they're swimming forward. But it's kind of tricky for them. They're going to have to like dive under the water to try to get to where anything tasty might be. But they're maneuvering through. And you see their hoods poke out of the water and their jaws kind of snap. But no, they're down below, so while the harpies are in the air, there's not much of anything they can do, but they look like they're ready and waiting for something to fall in the water. This nesting harpy, she flies forward, and she lets out, again, with her enchanting song. So everybody needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Uh-oh.
I rolled twice, but I'll take the first one. So Terrell, actually, okay, Terrell, Kai, everybody but Sprinkle. You are now enchanted by the harpy's call.
What about my aura thing? Does this class as a spell?
Oh, actually, you know what? It's +2 for everybody in your aura. Who's in your aura?
What's the distance on my aura?
10
Hang on,
feet.
let me find it.
Nobody else is in your aura.
Nobody.
But you get a
No,
+2.
me.
So you
Makes no difference.
Oh yeah, with a 9 it does make a difference.
Nope.
If Yelena or the halfling had been in the distance, it would have made a difference because the DC was 15. So, oh wait, did Yelena, did you roll with the? Okay, you did roll with advantage.
Yep.
Okay. And I just remembered something with your thing that gives you advantage. Remember, if somebody does save, you can twist it back. And that's 120 feet. Sprinkles is within 120 feet of you. So, oh wait, no, you failed. I think, okay, this is like a double dog thing. You're charmed, so I would say that you don't have an opportunity
that makes sense to me.
to use it. But normally, if you had saved, you would have been able to try to use Sprinkle's success and throw it back at the harpies.
Yeah.
So, this is me being like, okay, now everybody's charmed. What does that mean? Well, while you're charmed, you're kind of incapacitated and you ignore the songs of other harpies. If you're more than 5 feet away from the harpy who charmed you, and you are, she's the one that's currently highlighted in yellow, you must move at your highest rate, including dashing if necessary, along the most direct route to get within 5 feet of the harpy. The charmed creature doesn't maneuver to avoid opportunity attacks.
I think you might have broke off there.
So if anything gives you damage, other than this the harpy that's currently highlighted, you get to make another saving throw. Did you hear the part about you have to move in a direct line towards that harpy?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, repeat the saving throw before entering damaging terrain, like going off a cliff. And if the most direct route includes dangerous space. And then you also repeat the saving throw at the end of your turn. And if after this point you're going to be, once you finally do save, you'll be immune to the harpy song to this for 24 hours, or at least this harpy song. So this harpy cannot charm any of you again today.
Okay.
Isn't that fun? So the harpy that was engaged with Yelena goes after her and tries to claw her twice. The first one hits, so you get to make a saving throw, Yelena. A wisdom saving throw.
My advantage with that. This is just a.
Yes, because you still get advantage against being charmed. All right, and the 16 was enough. So you shake it off with the slash of the Harpy's talons against your back. You shake off this enchantment. Then it tries to claw you one other time. But rolls a nat 1.
Yes.
So like feast and famine right here for this Harpy. The other young Harpy, the still enchanted Mathias, I'm not saying his name yet, but like this halfling who is still enchanted, she tries to pick him up. So she's going to roll an attack. But she's utterly no good at her job, and he misses him. Even though he's like enchanted and a little bit like, lost to his senses. There's another young Harpy that tries to do the same thing. This one has more success. And she's picking up the halfling and she flies with him 10 feet back towards one of the nests. And he's just kind of like dangling and kicking over the water because he wants to get towards the Harpy that enchanted him. So it's like he's trying to walk in midair. Now it's his turn. He gets to make a saving throw at the end of his turn. But with a 4, he doesn't save. Top of the round. Sprinkles and Terrell. Sprinkles gets to act.
Do I know that I'm enchanted, or am I like incapable of doing anything other than move?
You're incapable of moving, but Sprinkles gets to do what Sprinkles wants to do.
Well, I mean, Sprinkles would charge towards the bad guys. I was wondering if I could tell her to bite me.
No, you can't tell her to bite you.
Oh well, she's
You're just
gonna
thinking
run
about
80 feet then.
You're thinking about getting to that oh so charming Harpy in the water, or like hovering over the water. So what? Sprinkles runs forward.
Yeah, so she can do 50. Oh, actually, if I get her to do, well, if I do 40, she's not going to be. But she can't do. Yeah.
She gets to like the rock climb up to get where like other people are, to where like Yelena.
Yeah, if I put her there, does that count as flanking? Well, she doesn't really have anything that does her for flanking, though, does she?
Well, she is going to have to make one athletics or acrobatics check as she climbs up to make sure she can climb up successfully.
Okay, that's a strength check.
Yeah, strength or dexterity, depending on whether it's acrobatics or athletics. All right, 15 is enough. So she climbs up. She gets to where one of the Harpies are hovering by Yelena, scratching at her. But that she used a dash to do it, so she doesn't get to attack.
Yeah, she can't attack, no.
For you, end of your turn, you get to make a wisdom saving throw.
Right, so I've got to move as quick
And you
as
have to
possible
move toward the
Harpy one.
Harpy. Mm-hmm.
And do I also have to use my Misty Step, or will I just use my legs?
If that will get you there closer, if you still have a level 2 slot, because you've used 2 level 2 slots.
Oh, shit.
Do you have a third?
Hang on, I didn't even think about that. I've not been marking them off. I do have a third, so I guess I would use it. Bollocks!
Misty stepping. So 90 feet, 9 squares closer to that Harpy. And
except I'm gonna fall off a cliff.
You're going to you fall off a cliff. So I'm gonna have you make a saving throw. Another one.
Right. Oh, wisdom.
Wisdom, yeah. See if you snap out of it before you plunge off of the cliff.
Whoa!
And you do. So let's say you get, where were you?
Back.
Okay, so before you plunge
Yeah.
off the cliff, you snap out of it.
Snap out of it.
You're no longer charmed. You're immune to that particular harpy for 24 hours.
Okay,
so
so
you still get to move in whatever you want to do. You see
Right, so I
Sprinkles
moved-
is now over on that, she's climbed up to the other cliff.
Yeah, so would you say I moved 20 feet then?
Yeah, sure. So you can move 30 more feet. What? Oh, wait. 40
Right,
more
so I
feet
can-
and then a Misty Step?
So I can do... Well, no, I'm thinking if I've got 35 feet to go there... Or will there be extra? Because I'm just wondering if I can do it with my normal run speed.
You would have to range from that square because you're kind of like on the cliff, like below.
Alright, how far up is the Harpy?
So you'd have to like climb up the side. There's like two kind of like 10-foot ledges to climb up the way that Sprinkles did.
Okay.
And
All
you'll
right.
need to make an athletics check. Or acrobatics.
Hang on. Acrobatics is +1, athletics is +7. Let's go with that.
All right. With a 12, you fumble and you don't quite make it. You get like as far as here
Okay.
because of the extra time it takes for you to climb up these ledges.
Alright, so I can range it from there though, yeah?
You can range attack from there.
I pull out a javelin.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. You hit with a 15. Doing 10 damage to this harpy. And
I think that's it. Because I don't get 2 strikes with the javelin, do I? I only get 2 strikes when I'm meleeing.
no, you get 2 strikes regardless.
Do I? All right, hang on.
Multi-attack is multi-attack. So if you're attacking, you get to do 2 attacks.
Okay, so my shield is returning.
Uh-huh. Yeah, what about that?
What's his rage? I can't see it. Hang on.
Should be, I think, 30 feet, I want to say.
I try to read the description. Yeah, the wooden shield. Yeah, 33. Individual range attack. Strength base should be made against each target until an attack misses on a miss. The shield automatically returns to the wielder in the bonus on the right. Okay, let me do that then.
I think I said because I said each square is 10 feet, so there's only one harpy technically within 30 feet of you.
Yep, I'm gonna go the same one.
All right.
For crying out loud!
That's a
It just
thrill.
stinks a feather.
But with but you wham bam, and this is your bonus action, so you still have another attack.
Really?
Really?
Right. In that
So
case,
for
I'm
your
gonna go
bonus
back.
action, you do 2 damage against that harpy. Like you fling out
Alright.
your shield, it slashes at her, and then snaps back into your grip.
Okay, then I'm gonna go back to the javelin because it's got better damage if I do manage to hit her, which I did.
All right.
Come on. Yes.
Yeah, 8 more damage to that harpy.
And I believe that's all I can do.
Okay. So you've hacked at that harpy. Oh wait, it's Yelena's turn. Yelena, you are in your senses. You can tell that you were charmed temporarily, and you see that the poor halfling that you almost had grips on is now being carried away by one of the younger harpies over the water. Now, you could try to rip the halfling out of her talons.
Yeah.
It would be a contest of strength to do so.
We'll give it a shot. So
you could also try attacking that harpy, and if you do damage to her, maybe she'll let go of the halfling, but he will plunge into the water below.
that's exactly, yeah, that seems bad. So let's see if I can get a
This
hold
is
of him
water
first.
below.
Yeah. And rocks.
Okay. How strong are
Sorry.
harpies?
How lucky is Yelena?
Harpies
what do
aren't
I
that
do?
strong. Just do a strength check.
Just regular strength check? Okay.
Uh-huh. Oh, the harpy rolled a 4. So you managed.
Oh, good.
You managed, even with an 8.
It's like a little slap fight.
She's got little noodle arms. Like, it's taken all she's got to hold on to this halfling, and he's like kicking and fighting. So you just you yoink him just enough. And you've been working out your yeeting arms lately, just in case you run into any of those little rockling earth elementals again.
Uh-huh.
So you yoink the halfling out of her grip. You're hovering over in the air, and you still got you are to fly away. You could take an attack of opportunity from that harpy, but you still have at least 2 squares of your movement. More if you you have 2 squares of movement.
Okay, yeah, I want to get us out away from harpies. So
And I'll say that
he's coming with me, right?
Misty Step is not. You couldn't use Misty Step to move him.
Right.
I'll just mention that. Mm-hmm. But he comes with you. He comes with you.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so there's an attack of opportunity from that harpy, but she's got these little arms, so odds are pretty good. She misses with a 10.
Yeah.
So you've gotten away scot-free, and you're flying away with this halfling. He's still kicking in your grip though, because he's still enchanted. But it's Kai's turn now. Kai, you are enchanted.
Yeah, so I need to make my way to the Harpy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I need to dash, yeah?
You dash, but let's see. You can make 1, 2, 3, say 4. You use your normal movement, and you dash for 10 feet when you get to the ledge. And you have to make a saving throw before you plunge over the side. So make another wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Move 1 square to the left. Okay. Do you fail? So you do plunge over the side?
Ugh. Right.
And you take... You take 8 damage.
Boo.
And you make another saving throw because you've taken damage. Make it with advantage because end of your turn and you've taken damage. 15 is just enough that as you reach the fringes of the water, with the sprain of your ankle as you plunged over the cliff, and had a bad landing, you come to. But it's the end of your turn, so you don't get to act. But you are recovered and immune to charm from that particular harpy again.
Right, okay. So am I just floating around in the water down there then?
You're down low. You're at the edge of the water where the water is kind of this is like a lower place, where there's a little bit of a rock outcropping, and you're on this rock in between some taller rocks that are slightly stretching as promontories out from the causeway.
Okay.
Now the harpies get to act some more. This one is just flying closer towards where Yelena has the halfling and where the other people are. The alligators are finding these rocks hard to navigate. Say one gets there. And one gets there, and they're still kind of like, chomping in the water. There's this nesting harpy that everybody is pretty much immune to, so she's going to fly forward. Okay, she doesn't notice the alligators are there. In her eagerness to get to fleshier meat. But the other harpy, who has seen Yelena kind of like get away from her scratching claws, she is going to let out her harpy song. And so here again, Sprinkles, Terrell, Kai, and Yelena all need to make another wisdom saving throw. Kai saves. You need a 15. Yelena saves.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, you and Sprinkles.
Wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. Uh-oh.
Terrell, you are... Sprinkles is cool. Oh, and
Yep.
Sprinkles rolled a natural 20. Do I drink for that? I think I do. She's one of you guys. And Yelena, this is one of your opportunities. Oh, you rolled a natural 20 too.
I did too, yeah.
I'm definitely drinking a shot for that. And you have a chance to try to do a beguiling twist. Because you resisted the charm, and so you can try to throw it back at this harpy.
Yeah, let's do that. So
Look
the
at...
harpy has to roll saving.
Let me double check, because I don't think it's a wisdom. I think it might be a charm saving throw. Not charm, a charisma saving throw for her when you use your ability. So I'm going to double check that. No, it's a wisdom. Okay. What is your DC? Oh, your DC's 13, isn't it?
13. We talked about 13, yeah.
So she saves, because even if she'd rolled a 13 or even if she'd rolled a 14, beats it. Okay, so she manages to shake it off, but you've gotten her attention. What is this powerful mortal carrying a halfling? The young harpy flies towards you, Yelena, and tries to make a little swipe with her claws. She misses with 13. She tries again. And does a natural 20.
Ow.
For 12 damage. And then the other young harpy flies forward, tries to do the same thing. Misses with a 13. But then hits with a 19 for 3 more damage. And I still need to drink. I just opened the bottle. The fumes reminded me. That is powerful stuff. Woo! I'm feeling charmed. Whoa. Okay. The halfling. He has a chance to attempt a saving throw. But he's rolling like shit. And fails. So he still wants to get to that harpy that has enchanted him far in over the water. Back at the top of the round, Sprinkles! Sprinkles has an opportunity to act.
Can she attack Nesting Harpy too?
She can, because she's on the same level as that nesting harpy too.
Alright, then she's going to attack Nesting Harpy too. Right.
Beacon Claws!
Beaks. Hit!
16 hits! She does 6 points of pecking damage.
Not great damage, but it's damage. And then,
The claws, though. She got really excited. You know, she's still young. Sometimes she gets really excited during combat, and like, especially when she has success. And that might be something that you need to practice with her. That when she has success on a hit, she needs to follow through. You, Terrell, you want to move toward that harpy yeah,
Nesting Harpy 1?
Yeah. No,
right,
2.
Well,
you want to move towards 2. 2's the one who's
2.
charmed you.
Alright, okay. So, there.
Alright. So, you move towards... Make an athletics check.
Athletics.
Just want to see if you successfully climb, because you still had, like, 1 level still to climb. But with a 15, you do it. So, you reach the harpy.
Joy.
And now you're just standing there. Except for at the end of your turn, you get to make another saving throw.
Okay.
And you do get +2 to it. And Yelena, you're close enough to Terrell now that you will get +2 on saving throws. And so does the halfling, though it will not help him with the way he's been rolling. It looks like it's added the +2.
Yeah.
No, wait. It hasn't.
I clicked the thing to say add +2.
Okay.
Oh, did it not?
Oh, that should be 15, shouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because your wisdom is 50. What is your
No,
wisdom?
if it's wisdom save, I have a +2, so I rolled a 9.
And you should have +4 on this roll.
Yeah, which.
Oh, it
would
does
take
have
it to
+4.
13.
Oh, yeah.
There is a +4 there. Wait, are you proficient with wisdom saves?
I have a star, so yes.
Okay. So it should be +6. No, wait, it should be +7. What the hell is going on?
I don't know.
Because it should be +2 for your actual wisdom. It should be +3 because you're proficient in wisdom saving throws. So +5 to what you rolled. That gets you to 14. Right. +2 because of your aura. So you should have a 16. I don't know why you have a 13 here. The point is you've shaken off this charm, and now you're immune to both of the big bad harpies.
Phew. But I can't do what else.
But Yelena can do what else because it's now the start of her turn.
All right. I'm just trying to get this guy who's fighting me to high ground.
Mm-hmm. Away from the harpies.
Away from harpies and on high ground. So I guess I'm going to fly towards Sprinkles over here.
All right. You will invoke some attack of opportunities.
Yeah.
Unless you disengage. And if you disengage, you won't be able to dash. So you'll only have, you have 35 feet of movement, but you only get to move 3 squares normally.
Mm-hmm.
But if you dash, you can move 6 squares, but you will invoke attacks of opportunity. So, choices.
Let's see. How many hit points I got here?
More than you did last time. You still have, 2/3 of your health.
Yeah, I'm just gonna dash and
Okay.
take the hits.
So you can move. You can move him 6 squares, and these are the wimpier harpies too. They're doing D4s of damage rather than D8s.
So if you want to drag him over to me and then.
And the first one missed its attack of opportunity. The second one missed their attack of opportunity. So it was a good choice. Both of them miss you as you fly away. And you now have this guy on solid ground and high ground. Though he's trying to get out of your grip still because he wants to get towards that harpy who has enchanted him.
Yeah, I'm going to keep a hand on him.
Unless you have bonus action you want to use, Kai, it will be Kai's turn.
Go ahead, Kai.
Okay, Kai!
Okay, so from my little vantage point down below,
You are uncharmed.
can I see... Yes, uncharmed. Can I see those harpies in that little
You can
group
see
up there?
you can see all the harpies. And you are how far away from you? Double whatever distance it says you are, because it's treating it like 5 feet, but it's actually 10 feet.
Okay.
And as an evocation wizard, you could sculpt your fireball, as I'm assuming you're thinking fireball,
Yes.
around Terrell.
Yes.
Because of your
yes.
evocation superpowers.
Yes. I'm doing that. So I still reckon I'm within distance because it's 100 and
Fireball is
150 feet. 150.
What? I didn't realize fireball was that far away.
Yeah.
I need to play.
Well within.
I need to play more wizards. Jeez. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So those are my targets, and I'm gonna go for it.
All
Are
right.
you ready?
Fireball.
I'm just saying I'm impressed that Kai remembered how to do the circle for the spells.
That's pretty cool. Only one thing is targeted, so
Yeah. So do I have to do it on all of them then?
yeah, you are.
But they'll still take half damage, won't they?
Yeah, they'll still take half damage. It just won't do it neatly for us, so I'll do it manually. When they fail, they take full damage. I should point that out. Failure means good for you.
Yeah.
So the nesting harpy, the big harpy did succeed, so that one will take half damage. But all of the little harpies will take full damage. So go ahead and roll
Right.
how
No,
much
Harpy
you
2
damage them.
saved.
Shh. Right, so I need to do it. Shall I roll damage on all of them singly or just one?
No, roll one big old damage. Because it's one fireball. Whoa!
That's fun.
So all these young harpies take 30 damage. And actually, oh god, one of them was already dead? Oh no. I'm so confused. Oh, maybe it did calculate for them that you killed them outright. I don't know. That harpy falls dead in the water.
Hey.
And the alligators are going to be happy because there's like something to chew on. The nesting harpy takes 15 damage, so that adds up to... It looks bloodied now, the nesting harpy that is near you.
Lovely.
The harpies that was attacking Yelena is still up. It looks quite damaged. And then the last one that was messing is also still alive, but it looks quite damaged. So both of they hadn't been damaged yet, but they're big enough girls that they are not completely dead, but they do look quite bloodied.
Lovely. Right, and I think I'll just stay where I am for the time being, you know.
All right, that sounds practical.
Yeah.
So good job, Kai. And the alligators
I am all for the win.
There's blood in the water. They're trying to get to that snack that has been kindly dropped into the water by Kai. So this rough-eyed alligator just starts chomping down. And actually, they're both like trying to they got either end of that harpy, and they're just chewing on it like it's a fried chicken dinner. The nesting harpy that has the halfling charmed is quite aghast as she sees what apparently was one of her daughters plummet dead into the water. And she starts trying to attack the alligators so they don't eat her. And she's so bad at her job. Yeah, she misses both of them. They're rough-hide alligators, by the way. But, she's like, no, don't eat the dead body of my harpy child. And the alligators are just oblivious. They have rough hides. They're like, yum, 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 chew, 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 nom, nom, nom. But it's very stressful for her. I don't think you care at this point, but it's very stressful for this harpy. You've traumatized her. I hope you're happy, Kai. So this harpy, now that Terrell has delivered herself into her clutches, even though she's shaking off the fire, she's gonna pick up Terrell and she's gonna dig her claws in.
I feel I would be quite heavy in my armor.
That's fine. She's hovering just a little bit, and she does she only does 3 damage. This harpy isn't doing as much. Oh wait, I was using the wrong thing. So she gets you. As her claws dig in, she does about 8 damage, but she flies off. Now you are heavy, so let's say she just flies off for half, and you're dangling over the water with this harpy while you're still enchanted. This young harpy, seeing how the fire is going, the fire is balling, she's going to be like, uh-oh, and she's going to start flying away. Other young harpy, likewise. The halfling, being held in place by Yelena, still trying to move toward the water, trying to leap over the cliff. And because he wants to leap over the cliff and try to get out of Yelena's grip, Yelena, I'm going to have you roll a strength check to see if you can hold on to him. You just Barely.
Barely.
This is amazing. This is amazing. This is the most underwhelming, like, underachieving success.
Struggle.
And yet you have been so successful. It's like a slap fight. So you managed to hold on to him and keep him from plunging over the edge. He makes another wisdom saving throw to try to, see if he fights off the enchantment. Oh, my bro. He rolls a 9.
Wow.
And he's not near Terrell anymore because she's been flown off. So that wouldn't have helped him. But, he is just paralyzed by the enchantment of this harpy. Sprinkles. It is Sprinkles' turn. And nothing is within her reach. She can't fly. She tries, I think.
She'll probably flap around going, "Where are you going, Mum?" What about where them 2 young harpies have gone? Is that a little bridge across to them?
Actually, you know what? That is a rope bridge.
She can make that. She's got a distance of 40 feet.
It takes 60 feet to get there, though. Well, okay, let's say 50 feet.
It's still a dash, so she... Yeah, well, fuck it. She can go there and start for next time.
She'll try. She's trying. Yeah. Owlbear wants some fried harpy for dinner.
Yep, chicken wings.
Chicken wings. But Terrell, you are enchanted, and you're dangling over the water. Make a saving throw. With a 21, you save. You come to, you break the enchantment, and you realize that there are these harpy talons digging into your flesh at your shoulders, and you are dangling 20 feet over the water.
Okay.
So those are things to contemplate for future you. Yelena, you get to act. You still having to restrain this halfling because he can't get his act together.
Hang on, sorry. Didn't I shake off the enchantment on my last turn?
Oh, you did. You shook off, but you that's at the end of your turn.
But I did that at the last time, not this one.
Oh, did you do it your last time?
I thought I did. Did I not? Am I misremembering?
Wait, let me scroll back and check. Because if you did, the last save I have you making was a 13.
That was the one we argued. Well, you said that I get my proficiency bonus on it.
Oh, that's right. You did. So you're not over the water. Okay, it takes these backseas.
No, so the harpy still grabbed me.
The harpy would not have moved, I don't think. Or what she would have done, okay, she would have gotten an attack of opportunity from you. So roll an attack of opportunity. Because she would have fled still because of the amount of damage she has taken from fireballs. But you would have had an attack of opportunity because you would have regained your senses by then. Sorry about that. Okay, and your attack of opportunity hit. So let's see if your damage was enough. You do 9 damage to her. That's not enough to take her out completely. She would have moved in blah, 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 blah. Where was she? Was she here? Okay, she was here.
Yeah.
So she's over the water, and you get to take your attacks in your turn.
Okay, sorry guys.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I forgot that you saved, and that's important.
Right, well I will throw a javelin at her then. Wow,
Okay, with a 16, your javelin hits.
Oh, yes.
You do 2 damage. She's looking really rough. Her wings are struggling, and she's kind of bobbing. It's starting to become a little bit of a struggle to stay aloft in the air. And you can see fear kind of stretch over her features as this is not going the way that she thought it would go with her prey.
Yeah. So I can attack again, yeah?
Yes, you do get a second attack.
No, I don't. I've run out of ammo.
No, oh, you've thrown all your javelins? Well, you do have
shield.
a thing from your bow blade that is ranged, and you have your shield as a bonus action.
Oh, I forgot about the lightning stuff.
Sparking bolts, whatever?
Yes, sparking bolts, and that's 120 feet. So let's go with that instead.
And it shoots multiple targets too. Like, how many bolts does it shoot? 3?
3. So I could attack both of the young harpies as well.
So your first bolt hits this harpy that you're aiming for. And you do 13 electric damage to it.
No, sorry, that was another attack roll.
That was the second one?
Was a mistake.
Okay, so roll damage. Roll damage.
I'm just confusing things, sorry.
So you do 6 damage electric to that harpy.
Yep. She's not down yet.
There's 2 more bolts you have.
Right, then I'm going to attack her again if she's still moving.
Okay, the second one hits with a 17. 8 damage. She's still up, but she's like, you see her, she's like really low now, like just hovering over the water.
I want rid of her. Oh, no.
But the third one misses, flies wide, and she's pretty low. She's like just hovering just above the surface of the water, and you see her kind of like land on the cart that has crashed over the ledge, and she's like perched on the cart right now because it's too much of a struggle to fly. Yelena, now it's your turn.
As you were. Yeah,
unless are you gonna throw your shield as a bonus action? I'm sorry.
Bonus action. Yes, why not?
Yeah, because she's within 30 feet. Okay, so you hit her with your shield.
Roll better than a 1. Yes!
That is just enough. Just enough. Throwing your shield, you slash it across the harpy, and you like literally decapitate her with your shield, and the body and the head collapse into the frothing waters below.
Yay.
Now, no one is left who is charmed by that harpy. The halfling is charmed by the other big bad harpy who is still like, trying to beat off the alligators.
So question, can I cast Charm Person on him to override that?
Or you could just slap him.
I don't know.
Snap out of it!
Snap out of him. Sure. I guess I'll save a spell slot.
Because you're not proficient with your unarmed strike, so you do like 1 hit point of damage at most.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Smack him.
Okay, you smack him. And I'm going to say, like, you've got him restrained, so I'm going to say, like, it's automatically hits. And he gets a chance to save again.
Okay, cool.
And because you get multi-attack, you'll get to do it twice. if he doesn't save this one.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! I'm gonna backhand him.
I changed my dice color, and I'm thinking that was a really bad idea because it is not doing well for this guy. Okay, Yelena backhands the halfling. Snap out of it! But he rolls a 14. Just not enough. Like,
oh my god.
No.
Like, for a split second, Yelena, you think you see his eyes regain clarity, but a split second later, they glaze over again, and he starts pulling again. Unless you have a bonus action, that is your turn. Or you want to move. You want to, like, move him more.
So if I'm not close enough to Terrell yet to get any sort of bonus.
No, she's like 40 feet away.
Okay. What's the distance I have to be?
10
Is it
feet.
10 feet?
So you have to be like basically adjacent to her on this map.
I'll just hang on to him. Just sit here and glower at him.
I could picture Yelena being like, my dude, you need to catch on with the program.
Don't make me shoot you.
It's like, why are you causing me effort?
Why are you like this?
Okay, Kai, it is your turn.
Right, Kai is going to have a go at Scorching Ray against all the remaining harpies.
Okay.
Oh, I might do 3 on 1. I don't know. I'll see. I'll see how I feel when I've started.
And that's
Right,
like
here goes.
that's 120 feet, right?
Yeah, and I've just measured it, and I'm within range.
Okay.
So that's fine. So here we go. I get three rays.
First one hits.
So that's a hit.
So you do 12 damage against that big mama harpy.
Yeah. And these young harpies, they're looking a bit rough around the edges.
They're looking pretty rough. The big mama harpy that's left, she looks basically, you just barely scratched her.
Right, I'll have a crack.
She hadn't taken damage until now.
Huh. Alright.
Yeah, so you hit one of the baby harpies?
Yeah, which one was
Or
it?
the adolescent harpies.
2.
2.
Yeah, right.
Doing 9 damage. Still up. But things are looking dire. She's getting close to the surface as well.
Okay.
You hit her with another ray of fire. But 3 points isn't enough to drop her. But she's hovering over the surface of the water.
Right, that's me done.
And because you have made her, she is damaged enough that she's hovering over the surface of the water. This roughhide alligator, seeing an opportunity for fresh prey, attempts to bite her. And succeeds with a 24. Does 4 damage, and she is dead. And you just see like this blood enter the water as the alligator chomps down and pulls this harpy body below the surface. The other roughhide keeps working on the dead body it was working on before. The nesting harpy, seeing this, seeing how things are turning, she decides that she's going to try to back out of the situation. And she flies back. This gives the roughhide alligator an attack of opportunity. I lost him. But he misses. She flies. She's flying away. She's one more. And the young harpy near you, she's not currently engaged with anyone because she's up too high for sprinkles or the other roughhide to get at her. So she's also going to try to move away. we are on my guy's turn. And my guy is going to make a wisdom saving throw against this enchantment. And for the love of God, he finally saves with a 17.
Took him long enough.
He shakes it off. He comes to in your grip, Yelena, and he's like, what? What's going on? What's happening? Oh my God.
I don't know either. How'd you drive off the cliff?
I don't know.
Do I know? Did he get enchanted and then he just...
I was driving down the road. I thought I heard something, and the next thing I know, I was on a ledge. These
He must have done.
bird women flying about me. My wagon! Oh, Greta's gift, oh no. Top of the round, Sprinkles.
Okay. Well, she can't really do it. Because they're out of reach. So I reckon she's gonna look at the alligators and go. Yeah, yeah, she can't reach out, so she can't do anything.
Right, well, your turn.
Well,
You're
I'm
out of javelins. You do have your shield. Oh, you're not within 30 feet anymore.
No.
So really, let's just say the only people who can do anything now are Kai and Yelena. Because they're still within 120 feet. They're still within... so they're both within their ranges. Unless you have something that is 120 feet, you are out of play. So do you mind if we go on to Yelena?
Yeah, I think so. Go for it.
Because Yelena has a range of like 5,000 feet or something. In fact, at this point, I'm going to say that if you choose to, Yelena, your range is enough that you can keep shooting at them as they fly away. And I would have you like roll one attack roll. You definitely kill the other young harpy before she can get out of your range. But roll one attack roll to see if you kill off the other matronly harpy before she escapes your range. Because she's actively fleeing at this point. And Kai, if you want to like roll a spell too.
Okay. In that case, before Yelena does anything, can I move closer to Yelena and cast Bless?
You can move. Well, Bless. Does Bless attack affect attack rolls?
Yep. Whenever the target makes an attack roll or a saving throw before spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to the attack.
All right. So you are. So there's a d4 added to your attack rolls, Yelena. And you only have to beat. Let's see. You only have to beat a 14. So yes. Between the two of you, Yelena and Kai, you decimate all these harpies before they have a chance to flee, which they're like actively fleeing. They plunge in the water and you see the alligators go to work.
Guess we don't have to worry about feeding them.
The alligators are so happy. Perhaps you've made friends this day. Giving them snacks. The halfling as he sees you take out these halflings, he expresses such gratitude. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I don't know what would have happened. I'm sure that it would have spelt my doom if you had not come at the perfect time. Thank you for saving me. You see him survey the wreckage of his cart, and he takes measure of the crates smashed on the rocks and those floating in the river below. Dagnabbit! If I had to lose cargo, why did it have to be the box with my wife's birthday gift in it? Still, I should be glad to make it alive, back to Sweetwater, within a day. And that is a gift. Thank you so much. My wife Greta likes a contest. Maybe that will please her instead of a birthday gift. I don't know. But for your assistance, please, a day down the road, let me offer you accommodation at the Smiling Satyr Inn. It is in my village, my hamlet called Sweetwater, and I will happily reward you with a night's stay and all the libations you can drink.
Okay. Do we tell him now there's like 100 people with us?
Yeah, exactly.
You tell him, there's like 70 people with you.
Okay, still a lot.
Yeah, it's a huge amount. And you see his smile kind of like wobbles for a split second, but he keeps it up. He's like, oh, you're with a caravan. Oh, how charming. Well, the Smiling Satyr does have accommodations for large groups. I don't know if there's enough rooms for everybody, but there are camping grounds that are quite popular. And, if I hold a party for my birthday party for my wife, you are all invited. And you can take part in the celebration. For I think I'm going to have to hold a scavenger hunt now to delight my wife for her birthday. Yes. And he happily goes with you. Though he does ask if you can like fetch a few of his crates out of the water, like Yelena.
Well, I'm sort of down there anyway, aren't I?
Well, can we get our little gator friends to help with that?
Well, they are kind of like in the water. And they're crunching types. So like their idea of help would be like chewing on the crates, like chomping the crates until they splintered, and then put all the stuff in the water. Which is not what the guy who who introduces himself as Mathias Rylin. He doesn't really give an occupation. He's a little bit. I'm mildly an adventurer. A soldier of chance.
Can I cast Speak with Animals to have a little conversation with these guys?
With the alligators?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, I'm going to do that.
Jump. What do you want?
Jump. Can you help us get these crates? Yeah, I guess they can at least get them.
I can get the crates. You want me to get the crates?
Can we get them sort of in one piece as much as possible?
One
Come on,
piece.
I mean, you guys are used to pulling a chariot. Can we do something similar?
You want us to pull the cart?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Do you think you could do that?
You gotta attach us to the cart. We need leads.
Oh gosh, do they have leads? Do they have like collars on?
We got collars on. We don't have leads.
Does anybody get any rope?
Brack has our leads.
Where's Brack? Is he? How far back is he?
He's back with the caravan.
How far away did we run?
You're like 500 feet. You could run back to the caravan.
Okay,
and
yeah,
get,
we'll
and
just
get
run
him if you need him to like.
Zip. I'll just rip back to get the leads
He's like,
and let the caravan know what we're doing.
do you need assistance, or you want me to just hand over the goods?
Well, yeah, come on.
All right. I'm being helpful.
Yes, you are.
I'll try to be discreet.
Excellent.
So Tidemaster Brock goes back to this with you, and he sees like all of the dead harpies floating in the water. He's like, "Oh, I missed it."
It happened pretty quick.
Next time.
I'm sure there'll be a next time.
Really, I'm getting restless. I would like to kill some things. Harpies would be
Excellent.
good to kill. So he assists. He like pulls out his leads, and he leads up, lashes the alligators to the cart, and they like pull it to the level ground. So the cart is near where like Kai is right now on the map, and people are able to like heft stuff out, the crates out of the cart, and add them to the caravan. And Tidemaster Brack helps with this. The alligators help with this, like strap stuff to the back of the alligators, because there's a little bit of like ledge climbing that isn't really practical for the cart at this point, to get it back on the causeway. But there's about an hour of labor involved with moving all the crates that have survived, that weren't crashed directly into the water. But Tidemaster Brock assists with this, and you all rejoin with the caravan. Driving on down the road, you do have to like camp out one night. So I'll say that you guys have the opportunity to spend a little time if you have any activities. Like if Kai has anything to do during his 4 hours of extra nappy time because he meditates instead of sleeps, and a couple hours if anybody has books they need to read.
Oh, I think I've got some left on my book. The Comparative Pantheonic Philosophy and Cosmology, whatever the chuff that is.
Yes, that's for religion proficiency.
Yes, I can't remember how far I've got. I've probably got it in my notes so I can
I
find it.
have a player note here about it, but I gotta like figure out which one it is. Religion tome. You have studied 18 hours, so let's up that to 20.
Yep.
You need 4 more
4 to go.
hours before you become proficient.
Woohoo.
And
I feel like I still need to do some more stuff, right?
I think
I cannot find it.
I think you became proficient in sleight of hand
Okay.
already. Because you got a lot of readings in. You got some extra reading in during the crafting of things back in Zelbros, because you weren't actively like pushing a wheel like Terrell was. And so the caravan moves a day along the road, and finally you reach a point in the road where Mathias indicates to you there's a turnoff of a small path, and he's like, if you turn right here, we'll hit the Smiling Satyr in about a mile. And you're all welcome to stop for the night. And as this is the stop of, this is the end of the next day, the 24th of that month that we're in, that has left my brain. Marpanoth, the 24th of Marpanoth.
Chuff did I remember that?
I don't know, but I'm really impressed.
Ah!
You're at the end of the 24th day, as at sunset or dusk on the 24th of Marpanoth. He issues to the small lane that kind of crosses over where you are on the road now. You have reached the other shore, and you are now traveling overland again. The rivers have been left behind, except for it seems like where the gray flow curved, it's at some distance, so you aren't traveling right alongside the road anymore. But you reach a point where there's a little tributary that's quite narrow that seems to cut through the land. And you see where the road turns off, there's a small bridge that goes over it. Everybody make a perception check.
Oh, that was pathetic. Come on. That's better.
There you go. Well, Kai notices that below this bridge there seems to be a cave. And he like wonders about that for a split second. Like, does something live under this bridge? But it's up to you. Do you take the halfling up on his offer for night's lodging, given that dusk is approaching?
It seems like a sensible idea, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think so.
So as the caravan turns off into this small little detour that will lead to the hamlet of Sweetwater, and what Mathias promises will be a nice fine party for his wife's birthday this evening, and a scavenger hunt will end the session there.
Cool.
Lovely jubbly.
And as always, everything took longer than I expected. I thought that we would like have combat with the harpies like at the upfront half of the session. And be back on the road. And be back on the road at the end. And it was like a close thing. If the harpies had not had the ability to like enchant people, Yelena, your plan probably would have worked very well.
We would have just zipped out of there.
You would have just zooped out of there and skipped the whole thing if they hadn't been able to enchant people and make things difficult.
They might have been happier off if that had happened.
Their lives would have been better off if they hadn't tried to enchant you.
Right.
This is true.
But I don't think the harpies are insightful enough and self-reflective enough to actually realize that. And now they're dead.
Shucks.
Good for you, though. So next time we play, is everybody good for May 17th?
Let me get my calendar open.
The Harpy battle was a little bit longer than I expected it to be.
We don't have anything that weekend, so unless you can think about... Yeah.
I think I'm good.
Okay. So I'll plan on May 17th.
Super.
How was that battle for you?
I quite enjoyed it.
That's a good one.
Cool.
I always love trying to do something a little different other than, let me figure out something else other than shooting.
I do wish I'd cast Bless before we all ran off. Ugh. But anyway.
Yeah. That's the tricky thing is like the slight distance from the caravan and having you guys approaching it not as a complete group.
Yeah.
But I also like that there were some aerial combatants for Yelena, so that was cool. Alrighty. Well, I'll let you guys go. Have a good weekend. Hopefully you're having a long weekend for Easter.
Yes.
Yes.
Whee! I'm going to go start unpacking my new computer, and
Yes.
trying to get that stuff working.
New toys.
Whee!
You're setting it up.
It came with like Civilization 6 or 7 or whatever they're on, so hopefully I don't fall down a hole.
I want to say that Civ 7 looks really interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Enjoy, Bonnie. Thanks ever so much.
All right. Thank you guys.
See ya.
See you next month,
Bye.
guys. Bye.
Bye.